some of them.
All cops are bastards! All cops are bastards! Talking to you, bud. All cops are bastards! All cops are bastards!
Going back to the Justice Center, which was the original first location for the Portland protest.
All cops are bastards!
Location, the Portland protest.
All cops are bastards! All cops are bastards! All cops are bastards!
Just some spirit. That's not me chanting.
All cops are bastards!
That guy's a muppet.
All cops are bastards!
Continue moving to the south. You need to disperse to the south now. Failure to do so can result in arrest. This crowd is still in a lawful assembly. Continue moving to the south. You need to disperse to the south now. Failure to do so can result in arrest. Move to the south. Continue moving to the south. Move to the south. Continue moving to the south.
That's what I said when we got here. The memories.
See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people they've arrested here.
Well, I think they're debating on if they want to go.
Officers are taking more action. Get out of the streets to remain on the sidewalk. Do not interfere.
Sacred fence, 8 bigger, blacker fence.
Be curious to know, watching back through that video, whether anyone saw anything there that provoked that officer, that bull run there, that bull rush. I mean, I didn't see anything. Saw that here last night too. There was a moment where there was a whole bunch of silence and a moment of quiet, and then all of a sudden the officers ran across the street and grabbed a person to arrest. It's been a bit of a tactic here to have some bit of calm and then a very sudden rush to go get some of the protesters.
We are in Portland, Oregon, downtown. The direct action march. And twirl around the building to see if we can see them from sounds like they stopped, like I thought. They might even be coming this Yep. I think they're going to be coming around. So they went all the way around the back side of the Justice Center.
See people, you hear people yelling like, "Get out of our city." You know, one of the big tensions here has been, you know, this Portland police here, but the vast majority of them live outside of the city. It's a issue in most cities, actually. That, you know, cops live, many of them in the suburbs.
I was just making sure.
Vast majority of the police officers live outside the city. So it's a big frustration here for a lot of the protesters, feeling like, you know, officers who come in from the suburbs come in police the city.
Should have filmed that.
Don't worry, bro.
Work as volunteers in town require more than that. More time at least. Our first demand is that we want an investigation into Alex Villanueva, his gang of executioners that have continued to kill and execute Black lives.
Yeah, on the point about protesters coming in from out of town, there are some people who come in from the suburbs, but I was looking at the arrest records last night. There were 25 people arrested. I don't know the numbers specifically off the top of my head, but it looked like 17 of the 25 were from probably from Portland, and then a few from the suburbs just right around Portland. So it's
we have to pay for your racist bullshit. I don't see why we have to pay while you get to kill a Black man and still get paid full time. It makes no fucking sense.
God damn it, you're right, Timmy. I should take the damn.
So LASD, if you're listening to me,
this is about me.
know that we're not going nowhere. These are our streets. We will continue to.
It's an interesting night out here because there's about 200 protesters, I'd say. But you know, last night they had police arrested 25 of maybe the 300 protesters that were out. So it's I don't know if it's smaller crowds because of that, or just it's because it's Tuesday night, it's a quieter night. Some people I know also on their way to DC for the larger march at the end of this week. So some of those folks, you know, would usually be here, or you know, some are starting to drive. People I talked to last night were out driving to DC. So maybe a bit of a smaller crowd from that too.
People who have been on the
Tell me that this
front
particular
lines
beach in the background is a big gay house.
allow all of us to have
I personally am not well versed in gay house. I can't say whether or not that is true. They told me though they wanted to do
don't give up, you guys. Those times that they will continue coming at us, those times that it might look like we've been defeated.
Okay, Timmy.
We're together. We are all in this.
Is there like a place around here that sells hot dogs? Hot dogs? Yeah. Do you know? Thank you. Thank you for your work. Thank you.
I wasn't paying attention.
person on this bus here. I don't think they're going to make their next stop on time.
Anthony McLean, thanks to everyone who's died senselessly at the hands of LASD, the thousands of black races who weren't filmed, who didn't even have so much as a newspaper writing about their deaths. That's why you're doing it. If there's ever a moment you forget, you will never die. You fight for the people that die.
To the left, the girl in tan with blue.
Bullshit fucking trials.
I don't see her, Jenna.
And they have to grieve with that every single day.
Oh, her, yeah. What about her?
Don't ever forget that.
Yeah.
We are always
Get it.
we police the police. We watch the watchmen.
Do I think Thomas Morales says
And then,
sheriffs will deploy munitions?
Right up front of City Hall, a very, very beautiful defund sign, or a bunch of
They're not gonna
flowers or
show up.
something.
So they roll. The sergeant here.
I gotta be honest, I don't know where that came from, because when we marched, or the crowd marched from just a few blocks away to the park here.
Need to do that.
When they arrived, it was already here, so I'm not sure when that was placed.
There was a man on our team who just got snatched. They detained him and they illegally searched him for no reason. They took a picture of him, and what they're doing is that they're bagging us like animals and they're tagging us and releasing us. So that when shit hits the fan and when Trump is out of office, they want to try to build some kind of federal investigation.
Are you trying to look at her outfit or what?
Now we heard about that. That's what they're planning on doing. Know that this is becoming a radicalized movement, and not at the hands of us, but at the hands of us who think it's okay to violate constitutional rights. At that, forget about state law. Constitutional rights.
Have a good one.
So please, if you don't have anyone, I'm here for you. There's a lot of people.
Which Jenna are you? What's your Instagram account, Jenna? Have we met? I'm not sure if we've met. You're the Jenna that one of the Jennas, one of the many Jennas that I know. I'm not sure if you're the Jenna that I'm thinking of. What city are you in?
Why don't we just play one more song to close the night off? I got you.
Can I say hi? Can I say hi? Hey! So cute. Oh my goodness.
When my mom immigrated to this country, my dad's family was the one
Oh, cool. This is Wednesday the dog. Hi, so cute. Thank you. Have a good evening. So cute.
And she's like, I remember when you guys were cool and I thought, but I was cool that you guys were on
cops are bastards! All cops are bastards! All cops are bastards! All cops are bastards!
So it's all interesting here. They got quite a few sheriffs
All
out
cops are
tonight.
bastards!
You know, I don't think there's a county. You know, we're next to the Seattle City or the Portland City Hall. I'm not sure there's a ton of county reason for the sheriff's office to be here tonight.
Yo, Oz. What's going on, bro?
All cops are bastards!
Thinking about maybe letting this scammer sweat it out for a couple days.
All cops are bastards!
Maybe get him on Friday.
All cops are bastards! That's you for it.
Yeah, good job.
All cops are bastards! All cops are bastards! All cops are bastards! All cops are bastards!
Just so clear, that's not me chanting.
All cops are bastards! All cops are bastards!
Assembly. Continue moving to the south. You need to disperse to the south now. Failure to do so can result in arrest. This crowd is still in a lawful assembly. Continue moving to the south. You need to disperse to the south now. Failure to do so can result in arrest. Move to the south. Continue moving to the south.
So, if anybody wants to, being, Halloween's like right around the corner, and so is the election, talk about real scary. But if anybody wants to get on the StreamYard and share any ghost stories or UFO encounters or paranormal activity type stuff that you've ever witnessed or been a part of, I think it'd be a pretty good time to do so. So, you want to hop in? There's the StreamYard. I've been watching hippies from afar. I see he's got some little Halloween skit thing going on that he's been planning. I can't wait to see what that's going to be developed into. It looks great considering some of the stuff that I've already seen. Like his Stormy Daniels costume and his Joe Biden costume and hot dogs and he's going to do some crazy fun stuff is what it looks like.
Be curious to know, watching back through that video, whether anyone saw anything there that provoked that officers, that bull run there, that bull rush. I mean, I didn't see anything. Saw that here last night too. There was a moment where there was a whole bunch of silence and a moment of quiet, and then all of a sudden the officers ran across the street and and grab a person to arrest. It's been a bit of a tactic here to have some bit of calm and then a very sudden rush to go get some of the protesters.
Hello?
Footballs.
Who's that?
You can't understand what in the world you're saying.
I can understand what in the world you're fucking saying.
Well, at least mine is, at least somewhat audible.
Hang on. Challenge accepted.
Accepted.
Oh. Hang on.
I just switched to the Two-Face one.
Oh. Now we're in a cave.
Hello. There we go. That's the one. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got a UFO story. Oh, shit. No, maybe that's not one maybe that's not that good. Is that one what mine sounds like? Yeah. Oh, wait, Jesus, right, I changed that. I don't know. Say, do barrel. Do barrel. Say, do barrel. Alright, I'm just gonna go with the chipmunk. Uh-oh. I think the voice mod app just hit his computer in, maybe. Do a barrel roll! Now we're waiting for everyone else to come on in the StreamYard and share your little ghost stories or UFO stories or paranormal whatever stories. I tell you what, come November 5th, we might have a creepy tale of sleepy, creepy, sleazy Joe. What a haunting tale that would be. Really? Nobody has any ghost stories or anything like that? I've got a couple. I'm just waiting to share mine.
And she's like, I remember when you guys were little and I fucked the fuck out of you guys. But I was told that you guys were on
So for those who don't know Portland all that well, we're like a block and a half away from the federal courthouse. It's just basically straight through the park down there. We started not at the federal courthouse today. We started at the park just a few blocks northwest of City Hall. Yeah, I saw someone comment there that called the National Guard to come in. I saw the president made some sort of similar request today on Twitter. Sounds like the governor's not really interested in that. And there's probably 40 officers here right now, and maybe only 200 protesters. It's not really seem like it's numbers that the local police can't handle. As I said last night, they arrested 25 protesters.
This is the biggest crowd we've had, JC, in months. All cops are bastards! All cops are bastards! I saw your comment, Kevin. All cops are bastards! I'm not familiar with this, so I won't. I'm not sure. All cops are bastards!
So it's all interesting here. They got quite a few sheriffs tonight. We're in, I think there's a county. We're next to Seattle City or the Portland City Hall. I'm not sure there's a ton of county reason for the sheriff's office to be here tonight, but see some of them.
All cops are bastards! All cops are bastards! Talking to you, bud. All cops are bastards! All cops are bastards!
Yeah, we're going back to the Justice Center, which was the original first location for the Portland protest.
All cops are bastards!
First location the Portland protest.
All cops are bastards! All cops are bastards! All cops are
Just in
bastards!
spirit, that's not me chanting.
All cops are bastards! All cops are bastards!
Assembly. Continue moving to the south. You need to disperse to the south now. Failure to do so can result in arrest. This crowd is still in a lawful assembly. Continue moving to the south. You need to disperse to the south now. Failure to do so can result in arrest. Move to the south. Continue moving to the south. Move to the south. Continue moving to the south.
That's what I said when we got here. We're back. The memories.
See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people they've arrested here.
Well, I think they're debating on if they want to go.
Officers are taking over action. Get out of the streets and remain on the sidewalk. Do not interfere.
Say goodbye to 8 bigger blacker beds.
Get out of the street and remain on the sidewalk. Do not interfere.
You stay towards the back of the group.
Be curious to know, watching back through that video, whether anyone saw anything there that provoked that officer's, that bull run there, that bull rush. I mean, I didn't see anything. I saw that here last night too. There was a moment where there was a whole bunch of silence and a moment of quiet, and then all of a sudden the officers ran across the street and grabbed a person to arrest. It's been a bit of a tactic here to do have some bit of calm and then a very sudden rush to go get some of the protesters.
We are in Portland, Oregon, downtown. The direct action march. And twirl around the building to see if we can see them from the sounds like they stopped, like I thought. They might even be coming this way. Lives matter. think they're gonna be coming around. So they went all the way around the back side of the Justice Center.
See people, you hear people yelling like, "Get out of our city." You know, one of the big tensions here has been, you know, there's Portland police here, but the vast majority of them live outside of the city. It's a issue in most cities, actually. That, you know, cops live, many of them in the suburbs.
I was just making sure.
Vast majority of the police officers live outside the city. So it's a big frustration here for a lot of the protesters, feeling like, you know, officers who come in from the suburbs come in police the city.
Would have filmed that.
Don't worry, bro.
Work as volunteers in town require more than that. More time at least. Our first demand is that we want an investigation into Alex Villanueva, his gang of executioners that have continued to kill and execute Black lives.
Yeah, on the point about protesters coming in from out of town, there are some people who come in from the suburbs, but I was looking at the arrest records last night. There were 25 people arrested. I don't know the numbers specifically off the top of my head, but it looked like 17 of the 25 were from probably from Portland, and then a few from the
Alright, so I guess I'll share my UFO story. So, I want to say it was late summer, early fall, and I was about 12 or 13, and I'm outside jumping on the trampoline at my parents' house. Just jumping around, it was clear sky, it was nighttime, and the stars everywhere. And I look up, and I see this ship in the shape of a triangle. It looked about as big as a football field, was maybe 100 feet above the tree line. Pitch black, no sound. It did have lights on each point. There was a white light on the front and like 2 sky blue lights on the back. So, I was jumping around, and I saw that. It was, like I said, there was no noise. This thing was absolutely huge. So I'm jumping, and I kind of just passed it off like, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to go inside and tell my parents, hey, I just saw a UFO outside the size of a football field. All right, cool, now I sound crazy. So I just continued to jump. And was like, yeah, I didn't just see that. And sure enough, about 5 minutes later, here comes the same ship going right over top of the yard. There was nothing, not a whisper. It was just, you couldn't hear anything. It was crazy. So at that point, I was like, okay, on the off chance that this thing comes around for a third time, let me go run inside, grab my parents, so I can have some witnesses. So I go run inside, and I'm like, Mom, Dad, nothing is wrong, but I need you guys to come outside with me right now. And of course, my mom goes, what's wrong? What happened? No, nothing's wrong. Come outside with me right now. So everyone comes outside, and sure enough, about 2 or 3 minutes later, this big ship comes across the yard again, and everyone is just looking up in awe. And I was like, see, look, just look at this. I know I wasn't crazy. This thing came back around again. And at that point, my dad was so intrigued, he starts walking towards this truck, and I hear his keys jingling in his pocket as he's trying to fumble to get them. And at that point, I was like, oh, I'm going too. So I jumped in the truck, and we went down the road as far as we could until we just couldn't go anymore, and we waited to see if this thing was going to come around again. And sure enough, one last time, it comes around, and we follow it down our road as far as we can. And then, again, you couldn't hear anything. It was just slow moving, like, I don't know, maybe 50, 60 miles an hour. It was not that fast. And my dad was so intrigued after that, he started calling aviation all over the place, trying to see if there was anything showing up on radar, which of course it wouldn't have because it was so low. He was calling everywhere, trying to figure out where, the thing could possibly be coming from, if anyone had any information on it or anything. Of course, all this happened before, everyone had a smartphone in their hand that could record that type of thing. But yeah, that's my little UFO story, and I have witnesses, so I'm not crazy. Anyone else want to join in on the StreamYard and share their story? Feel free.
How about we switch? Or is this better?
All right, maybe I'll just turn it off. Anyway, I hope everyone could hear all that. If not, I can tell it again later. But if anyone else has a UFO story or a ghost story or a paranormal moment or anything like that, join in. Any funny Halloween stories? Come on, it's got to be something. Top Spin, tell us your story, bro.
Okay, it was about 3-4 weeks ago.
I don't think that's gonna work. Well, go ahead, Oz.
Difficulties.
He just totally bounced. What a bitch, Oz. Get your ass back up here. What the fuck is your problem, man? He actually had kind of an exciting an exciting encounter where his whole entire like backyard lit up like in a bright white light or some shit. And he said it was an alien. I don't know, it was kind of interesting. But I guess I've had some like experiences with ghosts and whatnot.
Well, go ahead and tell your story, and I'm gonna try and get some more people in here while you're telling it.
I don't know, it's kind of funny, I guess, you know? So, I don't know, like, quite a few years ago, my father passed, and we had him cremated, and I brought his ashes home, and they were just kinda, like, out on the mantle, you know? And a few weeks after I brought his ashes home, it's like he started walking down my halls, you know? Uh, and it's funny 'cause, he would always, like, go like from the kitchen to the very back bedroom, which is where I had like my grandmother, all of the furniture I got from my grandmother, you know? So it was like furniture he grew up with as a child, you know, and he would always walk into that room. But he was literally, you know, like walking down and I'd see him like walking down my hall in his hospital gown, like ash cheeks hanging out and everything, you know, like just gallivanting along, you know? And when he was in the nursing home, I got him a cell phone, right? Because it was long distance and the nursing home, long distance was really expensive. So I got him a cell phone. And after he passed, you know, I got the cell phone back and turned it off, and the battery was dead. And it should by all means not be chiming anything, but like for 6 or 7 years after his death, this phone, it's like the alarm went off at like 4 o'clock in the morning every single morning. Like you take the battery out, it just didn't even matter. Just didn't even matter. The alarm went off 4 o'clock in the morning every morning, like clockwork, you know? I don't know. That's pretty much the extent of my stories. Um, I guess I've had other encounters with, I don't know, what I could just consider to be like crazy people, you know, telling me that I've lived past lives and things like that, and telling me, you know, like how I died in my past life and all this kinds of crazy shit. But I guess that might just go with the territory of growing up in the Bay Area, you know? Being in San Francisco, being in Berkeley and stuff, like you encounter some really strange people. I don't know, I can't really think of any other stories to tell, so I guess that's it. Thanks for letting me share.
Yeah, no problem. Like I said, I thought this would be a fun little thing to do, being it's so close to Halloween. Hopefully, I can get a lot more people in here sharing their stories.
Yeah, Oz needs to get the fuck back up here. Oh yeah, and not all cops are bad. Oh, I just remembered something else too. It was a few months ago, like in the beginning of the summer, and I was in my backyard, and this like red orb of light came from like east to west, and then just like kind of shot north and faded out. But it's not like the orb got smaller, as it got farther away. It was more like the light diminished. So I don't know what the heck that was all about, but I don't know, that was kind of weird too. Okay, Oz is here. And just from the illegal gun.
I actually do have a fucking story that happened a couple of weeks ago. But like, of course I am. Hang on. Am I still echoing?
Go ahead, Oz. Tell your story.
About 3-4 weeks ago, it was like 2 a.m. and my dogs go off wild at the moment for like past couple of weeks since. Like every single night at like 2 a.m. they want to go out into the backyard ever since. So what happened was it was about 2 a.m. and the dogs want to come out and they just want to pat. And outside of my room there's a bathroom window, the dunny window, and we got a spare room and I could see all the windows. I'm patting the dogs and I look up and all the windows are bright as hell. Like the heavens had opened up, bright as hell. And I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Like for 3 seconds, there's all these bright lights, and then immediately, just like that, there was a loud jet bang, like a jet had just like hit the window or whatever, and then everything just went black, completely went black, and then I ran out the backyard to see what the hell it was, and couldn't see shit in the sky. But the whole neighborhood went off. All the dogs went off. Completely went off. All the dogs are barking. And, yeah, that was a couple of weeks ago. I didn't see no UFO. I was just in the house, and that's all it was.
That's still pretty eerie there, Oz.
Yeah.
Did you ever look into it and investigate, see if anyone else around the area heard it, or was there like news coverage about it or anything like that?
I didn't log into it. I know it's probably wouldn't cast it even if I probably did tell them, and at like 2 a.m. everyone's asleep, so in my area. No, I didn't go around and ask. Oh, well. That's my story from a couple of weeks ago.
Well, I've also got something, I guess, to broaden the topic a little more. If anyone has ghost stories of their area, maybe not their personal ones, but like my area is known for this ghost story or this, whatever.
Okay, I'm gonna head back. Hit me up if you want to talk about the other shit.
No doubt, bruv.
See ya.
Later. I don't know, maybe I could read a Goosebumps book or something like that. So, Lavi.
Hello.
Share your story.
So a few years ago, I was in charge of cleaning a school that was built in the 1800s. So I'd show up at night when no one was there. I was the only person in the whole building. The door under the stairs kept on opening, like the Harry Potter under the stairway cupboard door, just kept on opening. There were creaking noises up and down the stairs as if children were running. And also the sink in that area of the building, only when I was there cleaning, would start dripping. For months, this happened. And it was kind of eerie and spooky. It was the original school building in the area, which turned into an elementary school and then was bought by a private school. And then finally one day I was like, hey, I am not here to harm the school. And then it never happened again.
That's pretty weird.
Yeah, after that, after I confronted the creature or being or spirit or whatever, there were no more creaking sounds on the stairs. That door never opened again. The sink never dripped. Nothing ever happened after that. And that was a few years after an exorcism happened in that building. Originally, the teacher of the school lived in the upstairs classroom in the original part of the building. The building had been added on to. But nothing ever happened in the newer part of the building. But they actually called in a clergy person to take the person out of the 6th grade classroom. So that building is old, very, very old, and there was a lot of spirits in there, but they didn't find the person that I encountered or the being that I encountered to be harmful, so they didn't ask them to leave in the exorcism.
Spooky.
So that's my story.
Well, thank you very much for sharing it. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about right there. I want to hear some spooky stories or UFO sightings or just crazy experiences or what your town is known for. There is a place in my state called the Devil's I think it's the Devil's Camping Ground or the Devil's Tramping Ground. I can't remember. But it's supposed to be one eerie spot where not a lot of vegetation grows. And it just looks burnt. And apparently people have very weird encounters when they try and camp there. Well, get on and share your story, Topspin. Come on now. Oh, yeah, I've watched Pet Sematary. The classic is the best. All right, Topspin. It's fine. Just hop on here and share your short story. Come on now. We want to hear it because I'm intrigued by what you just typed. What do you mean you don't have a mic? Are you on your phone? What are you doing? Well, what kind of phone you working on? A Potato S4 or something? Well, oh, all right, okay, I see. Bruv, you can't get like a $5 headset or something? All right, all right. Forgiven. We'll just read his story he's got here. He says the messages all came from a TV. Continue on, Topspin. Okay, so 3 different TVs at 3 different times. What were the messages, Topspin? I was over at a friend's house and we were talking, and the TV was on in the background. We weren't really paying attention to it. And we both heard from the TV, the demonic glee is growing. Oh, that is spooky. It came from the TV, like using the speaker, but it sounded like a person in the room. If that makes any sort of sense. No, yeah, I get it. That's the point of the paranormal type, stories here, man. It's the unknown. I've got a pretty good ghost story, or paranormal story, or whatever you want to call it. So, growing up, I had this little remote control tank, and I was playing with it. I want to say this was before, like, I even went to school. It was like preschool years or something like that. And my sister was like off doing her thing at school. So I'm at home and I'm playing with the little tank, and for some reason it starts messing up. So at this age, let's just say I've been mechanically inclined for as long as I know. Not to say I'm like, oh, look at me, but yeah. At that age, I knew, okay, let me take the batteries out of the controller. So take the batteries out of the controller, and I put the tank back down on the ground, and then it starts moving back and forth again, doing its thing. And at that point, I ended up calling my mom back there because I was kind of like, okay, I'm not sending any, sort of signal to it. I don't know why it's still moving. Which now, looking back at it, that could have been, interference from a number of things in the house or whatever, sending in a radio signal and it responding to that and moving the thing. However, once my mom came back there, we ended up taking the batteries out of the device itself. We set it back down. It didn't move. And then, like, 3-4 seconds later, it ended up moving again and going all over the place, doing its own little thing. And at that point, she took it and went outside and chucked it over the porch into the ground as hard as she could. So yeah, that was interesting. And definitely creepy at the time. Oh, we have more from Topspin. Hold on, I gotta go up here. Several months later, from a different TV, I heard the message by myself, and the gates of heaven cast him out. No one else heard it, just me. And a few months later, from another TV, I heard a bone-chilling cackle, like exactly a witch laughing. And my girlfriend was in the next room and heard it too. And she came running into the living room and was like, "What was that? Why would you do that?" And I said, "It wasn't me, it came from the TV." And she just looked at me like I was crazy. Because the cackle was in the room, not the TV. Oh, yeah, that's some spooky stuff right there. Any more Top Spin, or is that where it ends? No doubt. That's still pretty creepy, though, I gotta say. I bet you had goosebumps after you heard that witch cackle laugh, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I would be startled too if I ended up hearing a loud witch cackling in my house and it didn't sound like it came from the TV. I assume I would perk up quite a bit. Oh, what am I thinking, though? I do have a paranormal event caught on tape. This was years and years ago, somewhere around Halloween, when I was making some Halloween video. Let me pull it up. So I'm just sitting there chilling, and then all of a sudden something fell onto the wall over there, off the counter. I'm like, what in the world happened? Freaked the dogs out. The dogs that I had at the time, anyway. I don't think the date on the cameras was right either. I think it was actually a couple years before that. Yeah, that's it, alls. Hop on in and tell your stories. Go for it. Invite your friends.
Hello.
We hear you. Go ahead.
All right. This is a bit personal, and nothing I experienced in person, but it was time for my father's home to be moved out of by his sister and her family. So as they're clearing out the barn, they found a suicide note from my cousin. She had been molested by her stepfather for 7 years. 7 years prior to them finding the note. Upon finding the note, my aunt asked her daughter what happened. She came clean. Divorce papers were filed, and it all went down. The day that that man was served with papers for molesting his stepdaughter for 7 years, the day that he was taken by the police, she was home alone in the house, and there was this screeching noise. all throughout the house. And this black cloud of smoke, or black cloud of something, raced out to the bathroom, flew up the fan, and after that, everything seemed completely different. The man was in jail for years and years, but he got out. But he was attached to a bad, bad being.
Spooky, spooky stuff. Sorry for the delay, and sorry if it sounds like I'm not interested. I'm very interested. I'm just trying to, while everyone's telling their stories, I'm trying to share it out to more places so we can get more people hearing these awesome stories.
Just a moment, my daughter's out here. Sorry, she's asking about washing clothes. Working on her Halloween costume.
All right, I've got it shared out to a couple more places. We'll see if more people will come in here and share their stories as well. I'm enjoying this.
No, I love spooky season. I love spooky stories.
I'm ready for Ghost to Ghost AM with George Norrie and Art Bell and George Knapp, all them people.
Are there other people backstage? No.
Not as of yet.
God's Night said he had a couple stories.
Well, he needs to get back in here. Along with a few more people with some more stories.
Come on up, God's Night.
Yeah, no kidding. Come on, God's Night. Share one of your stories. Freak us out. Scare us. Oogie boogie.
Yeah, we just watched the Nightmare Before Christmas day before yesterday. Love that show.
Yeah, I've got to go through all my Halloween movies. Gone through a few, but I got to knock out the whole list.
What are your favorites?
I don't know if I've got a favorite. They're all my favorites.
What are your top ones?
Oh, geez. Hocus Pocus has got to be one of them for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can't. I just can't. I can't list them like that. They're all so good. You can't do it. Halloween is like my favorite time of year.
Mine too. Mm-hmm. Mine too. Because at my house, the spiders have like 18-inch webs, and they're giant spiders. You can't hardly walk anywhere without getting spider web in the face unless you put your arms out first.
Oh yes, Beetlejuice. That's another good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and it's Scared Stupid. Yep, that's another good one.
Oh, what is The Exorcism? That was a really creepy movie. I watched that when I was 8.
What was the one with the clown with the white and the black? The Terrorizer or the Terrifier or something like that? That was pretty good.
an American Horror Story, that what was that clown version called?
Oh, I can't remember, like the
With
evil
that,
circus type thing. I know what you're talking about.
yeah. And he had that creepy abandoned bus that he lived in, and American Horror Story is fantastic.
Pumpkinhead.
Mm.
I heard a rumor that they're going to be doing another Beetlejuice and another Hocus Pocus.
So are they remaking it or are they changing it?
As far as I know, it's both of them are supposed to use the previous actors, and I don't know anything
Oh.
other than that.
Because sometimes when they remake something, they change the whole storyline and the plot and everything, and sometimes they just remake it.
Well, see, that's the good thing about, a paranormal movie like Hocus Pocus and Beetlejuice and stuff like that. It's like if the characters come back to life, you kind of have a way around, bringing them back to life because it's paranormal. It's the unknown. People don't know how these witches came back from hell or whatever.
Mm-hmm. God's not ever gonna hop on and talk about Peppy?
Gods, come on. Share some stories, bro. What are you doing?
Topspin says that they're making black versions of Beetlejuice and Hocus Pocus.
I mean, I know he's
They did that
kidding,
to
but
Charmed. No, they did it
I
to
wouldn't be
Charmed.
surprised.
Right.
I can probably list off some old school Halloween movies that y'all have never heard of. Or little short stories, rather. Like The Witch Who Turned Pink, Teeny Tiny and the Witch Woman, The Dark Forest. Oh, no. Dark Wood, I believe is what it was. In a dark wood.
So, Brock, do you really believe that your kid is a ginger and his soul came in 6 months late? Like, that's a bit harsh.
Oh, yes, The Witches. I can't stand the
We
new
just
remake,
watched
though.
that. Oh, I haven't seen the new one. We just watched the Angelica Houston one yesterday.
Remove your shoes.
Oh my gosh, that was one of my favorite bedtime stories that I read to my kids. So I put wall sconces that held candles above my bed, and that was the only light in the room, and I'd read that story to them, and I'd have a voice for the Grand High Witch. So fun. Such a fun time. Oh, you watched The New Witches by Roald Dahl? Darn. Wasn't good.
Oh, I mean, the new graphics are just terrible. Like the
I'm
old school
making
stuff
you
was definitely
sleepy,
more
God.
terrifying.
Well, God's not come up and liven up the show then, if I'm making you sleepy.
¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo están ahora?
Ah, there you go. I'll leave.
No.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't have to leave. I mean, you can all sit
Yeah.
on here.
Please. I wanted to hear her reactions.
I think just everyone's so used to, like the one limit on Hippie's channel because his internet still isn't back up. But Jasper, you have a ghost story or a paranormal event or anything like that?
What was that? Sorry about that, Ryan. What was that?
I was asking if you had any ghost stories or paranormal events that ever happened.
I'm full of them, man. I've been seeing this
UFO
shit since I
stories.
was really young.
Bring them on, bruv. Yes, Mothman Prophecies. Me and my
I mean,
wife
I was
just ended up
talking
watching
about
that not too long ago.
the official things I've seen. I've seen two of them officially. One was a family member, and another one was a friend. You know, they were having an exorcism, and it takes a while for them to do one. But for the family member, it it had to be right away because the family member. And like I was telling Top Spin, the movies don't do these things justice because when you see these things in real life, in real time, in front of you, and there's an actual battle going on, you see everything that's going on because it's your spirit that's more prepared and quickened by what's going on than your flesh, than your body. Your body doesn't understand, and when you start seeing the things that are around, you know, gray silhouettes, white silhouettes, black silhouettes. Um, when you
Now, are you talking about aliens or are you talking about like shadow
exorcism,
people or
exorcism, man, exorcism, not UFOs.
gotcha.
And so I'm saying the movies don't do these things justice because if you're actually concerned for this person and you're praying and you're reciting Bible verses and assisting the person conducting the exorcism, you start seeing what he sees or she sees or they see, anyone who's there. And it's literal warfare, man. It's literal battle for someone's well-being, their spirit, man, their soul. And it's not really possession like you see in TV where there's something inhabiting the body and you see weird abnormalities and deformities. It's not really like that at all. It's more like something is attached to you. It's just reaching into you. It does not diving into you like they make you think in the movies. It's like I compared it to a marionette or a puppet. Or that's all our bodies are. It's just like a puppet. It's a meat puppet. You know, something anything could put itself inside with its limbs, its hands, and control you. That's all it needs to do. Either your neck, your back, anywhere in the body. It doesn't matter. It just matters on how strong these things are, their size, their rank. Let's just say rank. So, like, say, private is the smallest, you know, and your highest, if you're gonna go by chevrons, is your sergeant major, and so they go by rank. The smaller they are, the lower they are on the level on you. So they're smaller. So the bigger ones can pretty much just control you like a marionette if you give them the opportunity. And that's how these things work. And just seeing what I saw, man, it was equivalent. It's like a humanoid, human size kind of thing. Most of them are. And like I said, the silhouettes that you see, the white silhouettes are generally a lower level or lower rank angel there to assist, and the dark silhouettes are generally a bad spirit or a demon. And the gray silhouettes are just spirits or people who pass and are stuck there. They're just wanderers. That's what they call them. They call them wanderers or passersby. And then sometimes you'll see something really grotesque, something really ugly that you don't ever want to see again. And those are some of the things I've seen growing up. That sometimes they appear as shadows on the wall of a humanoid form of some kind. Or if you kind of let your imagination run away or you see what they want you to see, you'll see different forms. And sometimes they're a little more animated and a little more realistic and they're really grotesque looking. The really good ones know how to change themselves to be something beautiful, a little more comforting, a little more acceptable. And that's how they work their way into you. And then they use mediums to get into you, you know, the stuff that you enjoy. So it's more like they attach to you. It's not really a possession. I know it's not
I
really much of a scary story. I'm just telling you like my
no, I
experience with
mean
shit that I've seen.
That is
And
eerie. I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, people open themselves up to certain things as well. It's almost like they're inviting stuff in, and they don't
that's
even
what you
realize.
do. That's what it is. It's not a possession, man. You're just allowing them in to control you. They can't really possess you because ultimately we're still children of God, of a creator, of a divine power, and so they cannot possess you. They can control you. Like I said, like a puppet. They can't control your soul. If you're talking about complete possession, that means they're taking over your body and your soul, and that's impossible. They can't control you because of God's spirit. It doesn't matter if you're a drug addict, a murderer, a rapist, or whatever term you want to come up with or lifestyle. They cannot possess you. They can control you. They can manipulate you. They can speak through you. They can do actions through you, but they cannot take you over. Like I said, because we're still children of God.
Amen to that, brother.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy stuff. Once you see it happen in front of you, it'll change your mind and how you see things in the world and through
Oh, I have
media.
a feeling I've seen stuff like that to where, I mean, I swear it's like I've seen people get, I guess what you people would call possessed, like they just something changed inside of them and their eyes were different and it was like they were just looking around differently or looking.
Yeah, they're being controlled, dude. They're being controlled by an outer
Yes.
source that most people don't see.
It was like the entity that went into them was looking around with human eyes that they hadn't used in a long time and was trying to like observe
Yeah,
everything for the first time
and
again.
that's
It
what
was
I'm gonna get
weird.
to. Because as humans, we're able to give ourselves up willingly. I mean, it's obvious. Like if you want to give yourself up to someone sexually, or give yourself up to some drugs, or whatever pleasure you want to have, well, then you're allowing yourself to be susceptible to be possessed in a way that something else is using you now. Something else is taking your place while you're out unconscious in whatever the hell you were doing. So now they're able to take a little bit of control over you to where, like you just said, see through your eyes that they haven't got to see through, or they forgot what it was like. These things want to be us. Don't get me wrong. We can't be taken over if we allow it, but we have to allow it. If we're just like, oh, every day going along your day sinning, do whatever the hell you want, they really can't take you over because you're not willing. You're just kind of dipping your toes into the pond. But when you say, you know what, yeah, go ahead and have your way with me, then that's what they're gonna do. And you're right, you see it. It's just an empty vessel with something in it that it doesn't realize what it's in right now until it starts getting used to it.
It is very eerie seeing it happen in person.
Yeah, because they're displaced, dude. They're displaced. The human body is something new to them because most of them don't know what it's like, and some do. And that's which one's the stronger one compared to the weaker one. It's crazy, man. It's crazy when you start seeing stuff like that. I mean, I don't suggest it, but if you're curious and you can find something happening like that nearby and volunteer to participate to help or something, if you feel it, because it's not for everybody. Not everybody can just jump in and say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to help with an exorcism." Whoever's conducting the exorcism will look at people and pick them out to help them because they can discern who is strong enough or who's capable of helping. And since it's family, it was easier because I was just there because I was worried and wondering what the hell was going on. I was freaked out. I didn't know what was going on, but I was seeing things.
Well, I sort of knew what was going on, but I didn't really know how to react to it. And like their whole demeanor changed, their whole attitude had changed from like them being all happy go lucky, and then it just went from like that to just you could see it shift, and then it was like all of a sudden just very hateful.
Yeah, they go lethargic, dude. It's like slowly turning a light off, and then they just when you turn that light on right back on real quick, they're lethargic and there's something completely different.
And you guys do know that this Halloween's supposed to be a full moon, if I do recall.
Yeah. Oh yeah, another thing, like I was telling you, man, I had my original channel banned, so I had to make a new one.
And what was it that got you banned?
It was two videos. One video that was there for maybe a month or so, and then I had just live streamed Shadowgate version part 2, 2.0.
Right.
And then not even within 2 hours time, I woke up. I took like about an hour nap, and then I woke up and checked my email, and it said YouTube had removed 2 of my videos. So they gave me a double community guideline strike right there at one fell swoop. And
Jeez.
so I got 3 strikes, and boom, gone. But
Oh, gee.
basically, my appeals were basically fuck you, YouTube, you Nazis, keep your Nazi gold. I don't need your peanuts that you consider monetary. Because I wasn't even monetized, man. I was only like 68 subscribers, I think.
Oh yeah, the monetization of a lot of the platforms is just absolute crap. But I mean, what are you gonna
Yeah,
do?
68 subs, dude, and they decide to knock me off. I guess because I don't know, because they hate Infowars and David Knight and Millie Weaver. I mean, that warrants them enough to knock me off YouTube because I'm such a threat. It was all good, man. I thought it
It's
was
not all
funny. I
good.
enjoyed it.
I mean, I want the good old days when whether you love him or hate him, but when Alex Jones was able to be on YouTube or whatever. I
Yeah.
mean, I want those days back. I mean, really, who is who are they to say whether or not he can say what he wants to say? I mean, if he wants to sit there and say that the moon's made of cheese and I don't know baby seals and they're building a Death Star on there, and I don't care if he wants to say that, he can say it.
Yeah. I don't care either. I mean, he said it's hollow. It's a hollow metal tube or ball, like the Death Star and whatnot. Okay, fine. Who cares? It's not affecting me in any way.
Oh, but it could affect someone and their feelings and this or that or
Yeah, their feelings.
I mean, seriously, that's where we're going at this point.
Well, I know it's been there for a while, Ren. You know that, man. 8
I'm
subscribers,
just
and
so
they
over it
deemed
at
me
this
a
point.
threat. So I take that as a good thing, even though I don't think it's true. But fuck it, I take it as a good thing. I mean, I was a little dude on YouTube. I take it as a badge of honor.
Yeah, I've been around for a while on it. I mean, not channel wise, but watching it grow.
Oh man, it was funny to me though. But I
I'm
wrote
happy
them
for
a good,
E-Bomb's world.
heartfelt appeal. Go ahead, go for it.
Anyone else? E-Bomb's world or bored.com, or maybe it was imbored.com. I can't remember. Had a bunch of like little funny, silly games you could play on there.
All right, Randall, it was good hanging out, man. Sharing, and I'm gonna dip out now.
All right,
You're
bro.
doing good shit though, Random. Appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you, bruv. I mean, that's sort of what this thing is. This thing is nothing without you and anyone else that hops on here and wants to share their stories, wants to just sit in the chat room and communicate and share their views. I mean, that's what it's about.
Yeah, well, I mean it's
Need for
cool. I mean it's cool. You're doing the StreamYard now. I like that.
Yeah, it took me a while. I mean, I'm kind of getting used to the little banner stuff, but I mean, I want to have it to where you guys can hop in. So I'll probably end up start doing some of the stream yards like this, and then I'll do some of the regular ones that I've been doing with my little banners and news flashes down at the bottom and stick figures beating people up or whatever.
That's what kept me in your channel, man. All the funny little things you do during the live streams with the Rex and the stick people and the voice modulators and the soundboard, man. That's what keeps your channel pretty good. I mean, I enjoy it.
Well, I appreciate hearing that. I mean, it's better to laugh than to cry, the way I see it.
Yeah, and it has a good spin to it, man. It has a good edge to what you're doing.
Well, all right, Knight. I appreciate you coming in, bruv. If you can
All right.
think of any other crazy stories or anything like that, feel free to jump right back in.
All right, Random. Have a good night.
Much love and respect, bruv.
All right,
God
later,
bless.
bro. Later. God bless you too.
All right. If anyone else wants to hop in, feel free. I will post another link on the stream right there in the chat. Let me go ahead and do that. That was a pretty good one too. Anyone else excited about Hippie's Halloween show? He used to call it Hippie's Halloween Hootenanny. Or Hippie's Halloween Happening. Hippie's Halloween Hoedown. Come on, let's keep this going. What else we got? Hippies High Halloween. That might work. Maybe we should have a poll. Take a vote. I can tell another few creepy, eerie stories, I guess. So, at my parents' house, there's actually a lot of crazy good stories, I want to say, that are in my parents' house because something about where my parents live, there's like this trail that goes off into the woods where hunters go and take their vehicles. It's like gated and they can go back there into the woods and they've got their little trails they go down. But there's like this fork in the road and there's like this old beat up log cabin with old horse stable. I mean, it's like run down. We're talking like, old. I don't know how old. It's just old. Anyway, so bunch of creepy stuff out there. So I'm at my parents and I had my friends over and I can't remember what we were doing. Maybe playing laser tag, something outside in the dark. And all of a sudden we heard an engine like revving up and honking I think it blew the horn once and then it got us, our attention over there. And we look and this SUV, like a Bronco type, whatever, off-road vehicle is ramming the gate and it goes forward and back and it like just tries to ram through the gate. I don't know what it saw back there, but it was trying to get out of the gate as quick as possible and it didn't know what to do, so they just kept ramming the gate until they finally found out the gate was not going to move, so they threw it back into drive and just floored it down the trail until we couldn't see the lights anymore. And we were just wondering what in the world had creeped them out in there. But I've actually got another story that I might tell in just a little bit. that might shed light of what could have possibly creeped that person out that was in the woods. So stick around for the next bit of that story. I'll tell you what, though, the person that was ramming the gate tore his vehicle up. There was like pieces of the tail light everywhere, plastic from his bumper. I mean, he was trying to get out of there. My mom has heard chants out in the woods before, like ominous chants, sounded like some ritual going on and people cackling off in the distance in the woods. So, I mean, it's been all sorts of crazy stories around there. All right. Now to let you know what I think. The person in the truck, SUV, whatever you want to call it, the off-road vehicle, may have seen in the woods that one made him want to get out of there quickly. So, this story, I guess I'll start off by saying this one happened to me, and it involved, I guess it was a shadow person. So, me and my buddy, we were riding dirt bikes out in said woods where all this crazy crap happens. And we're out there on the trails and hitting jumps and stuff. And it's starting to get a little bit dark. So I pulled up to my friend and I said, hey, yo, we should probably start heading back. Because we went out there a good bit. We should probably start heading back and go back to the house because it's starting to get a little bit dark. And he's like, all right, well, let's head on. So we turn the bikes back around and start heading back home, and like no more than, I swear it was like 50 feet, my dirt bike runs out of gas. Well, okay, that was fine. So I ended up having to leave my dirt bike out there so we could go back to the house and get more gasoline. So on the way back, it ends up getting dark, and I'm like, okay, well, this is good. We're going to be looking for my green dirt bike in the woods at night, way down on this trail. That's fantastic, because I had to hide it a little bit because the hunters go back there, and if they would have gone back there and seen a dirt bike just laying up against the tree, I would assume, hey, free dirt bike, nobody's out here, let me just grab this real quick, and we're gone. So anyway, we end up going back to the house to get some gasoline, go back out there on the other dirt bike to find my green dirt bike that had run out of gas. And once we find my other dirt bike, we're about to go back home again, fill it up with gas, and then the white dirt bike ends up getting stuck in this like mud puddle that we had gone through all day long. It was no problem before. It wasn't even that deep. Ends up getting stuck, and I mean stuck. Both of us were pulling with all of our might. Couldn't get this dirt bike out. So I'm like, well, we can't leave it here. So we just have to keep trying. So we kept trying, and we kept trying. Nothing would budge this thing. So eventually we finally gave up because, I mean, it was dark. We couldn't see anything. Whatever. We got one dirt bike that had gasoline. So we both hopped on the green dirt bike and started riding back to the house to possibly get some help. Well, on the way back, I'm riding down the trail. It's dark. I can't really see too great, but I can see enough from the moonlight and to make sure that I'm on the trail or whatever. My friend taps on my back and is like, "Do you see what I see?" No, I said no, because I turned over to the left. He's like, "Look to your right. We need to move." And I look over, and there is this shadow person thing. I don't know. It looked almost like a witch hat. Like a shadow person with a witch hat running next to us on the opposite side where our shadows were casting. And at that point, I freaked out. And I just gassed it as quick as I could. Hit the power band of the dirt bike. Gone. Zipped. Went home. Told the parents we were freaked out. Whatever. Get back there. Ask my parents or ask my dad for help. You know, like, hey, the other dirt bike's out there. So we might have to go get that eventually. He's like, all right, well, we're going to wait until in the morning. Because I ended up hearing more sounds coming from the woods afterwards. So my friend, he goes home. Me and my dad end up going back out the next morning, right before, dawn, right before sunrise. And we get out there. He pulls the white dirt bike up out of the mud. I swear it was like with no effort. And I get on the dirt bike, the white one, start going up the hill. The chain pops off. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me right now. So we end up rolling the chain, getting it back on, and then I start going back up the hill again, and the chain pops off again. We try it one more time, the chain pops off a third time, and he's like, well, this isn't going to work, so I'm going to go back to the house and go get some tools so we can fix this chain on this dirt bike so we can at least get it back home. I'm like, okay, so what do you want me to do? He's like, well, at this point, this is around the time that the hunters are going to start coming in, not too long. So you might just want to sit here with the dirt bike. And I'm like, oh, jeez, all right. So he goes back, and then I'm hearing all these different weird random sounds out in the woods while I'm waiting for him to come back and help me get the dirt bike back home. And then he eventually gets back out there, and we eventually get the thing fixed, and I get back home. But that little story right there, I mean, it was just very eerie how all those series of events ended up happening within the course of 24 hours. Not even 24 hours. It looked pretty solid. It looked like like random sounds, like you would swear that somebody was walking up like along the wood line, because I was like on this little trail area where it was like jumps and stuff. It was sort of opened up because there were power lines right there, so it wasn't like an extreme amount of trees around. It was like low level stuff. But yeah, you could hear stuff walking up to the edge of the wood, leaves rustling, stuff like that. I swear you could hear like laughter in the woods. It was just very, very weird. Creeped me out. Yeah, the thing I saw, I want to say it was, well, no, I can't really say whether it was solid or mist form. It was just black. and you could tell it was there. I mean, I wasn't trying to analyze it while I was on the dirt bike with my friend on the back, riding in the dark, guiding myself by moonlight. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely visible and creepy looking. Yeah, almost. Yeah, I could. Yeah, it was almost like a Grim Reaper looking thing with like maybe like a witch hat or something. Like it had some sort of hat looking thing. It had a big top half. Oogie boogie. Oh, see, Topspin, I really do wish you had a mic, bruv. You might need to get one over the next 2 days so I can do another, like, ghost show and you can tell us your story or stories. You sure it wasn't just someone in a costume? There, Topspin. Topspin is in case anyone's not reading the chat, Topspin is saying that he may have encountered something like the Grim Reaper about 50 feet away from him or so. And he says it was in a Burger King parking lot. Hey, maybe Grim Reaper was just waiting for you to have it your way.
The Whopper with extra sauce and pickles. Double the meat. I'll see you soon.
I should read a Goosebumps book. Maybe I'll do that in the next ghost show I do. I'm going to try and get it done within the next couple of days. And maybe I'll end up reading one of the multiple, choose your own story Goosebumps. And we can all decide and have a vote of which page we go to next or something. Hey, you never know. Yep, that's another creepy one. Topspin. Look, your objective this coming up day is to get yourself like a $5 headset or just a $5 microphone. Because you got to tell your stories. And everyone else that has already told their stories, if you want to tell your stories again within the next couple days, we'll do it again. And I'll, like I said, maybe we'll do the choose your own goosebumps stories. And we'll have some fun. And I guess this way it gives people a chance to brush up their spooky storytelling. You must tell your stories and make them scary. You know, I went to go see the actor of Gomez on The Addams Family, the original black and white TV show. Read, what was it? To Kill a Mockingbird? I think that's what it was. And have him do a reading. And it was actually pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Maybe it was a sign, Topspin, saying if you were to keep hanging out with him or go down the road that he was going down, you would have the same fatal path he would end up having. And I swear, I see, whether it be space debris or whatever you want to call it, UFO, and flying anomalies. I see these things like all the time. All you gotta do is look up at the stars, and you'll see random stars start to get brighter, and they'll start moving. It's weird. And I feel like a lot of people are distracted from looking up because they're too busy looking down at their phones. If you remember his name, you should try and look him up sometime. Or if you can find out if something happened to him. I gotta tell you, I am a little anxious about the election. I'm ready to just, I don't even know. I'm just anxious. I need to watch all my old 90s television Halloween episodes. Old 90s Nick, like Doug Halloween specials and Hey Arnold Halloween specials and such. I don't know about ever. I mean, you gotta think, what is the next election gonna be like? If Trump gets in, let's assume he gets in again, who's gonna be taking his place next election? Yes, that's another one I'm gonna need to watch. The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I can't pick a favorite. Oh, well, never mind. If I'm going to say, like, yeah, your favorite Halloween, like Halloween series movie, yeah, the original. But as far as like Halloween genre movies, I can't pick a favorite. Yes, I did know that. Actually, there's a Michael Myers house replica that is like 20 minutes away from me that someone had built that worked on one of the sets. I think he worked on the Rob Zombie Halloween movie set, and he ended up building a replica of Maya's house and has like Halloween movie nights the week of Halloween or the week prior to Halloween, and then extra movie nights, and you can go inside and look at some of the movie props and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm actually curious to know if they still do that, Sullivan. I've attended one once, and I'm curious to know if it still goes on. I'm sure it does. I mean, it's a cult classic film. It was kind of fun. I wouldn't mind doing it again. I didn't either. I had no idea what I was in for when I went to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, people were like throwing toilet paper rolls all over the theater, and popcorn and beach balls and this and that, and people in costumes and costume changes and running around the theater in the underwear, doing the underwear run and all this other crazy crap. It was just, I was like, what in the world? Definitely not an experience that you'd see in a normal movie theater. Well, oh yeah, oh, could you imagine? Yep, Topspin, that's another good one. But folks, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. I might do another one tomorrow and have like a Goosebumps reading or something, and we'll tell more ghost stories. Topspin, you have an objective. Make it happen. All right, everyone. If you want to tune in tomorrow, well, we'll see. I'm not, Don't hold me to it, but if we have another one tomorrow, then it'll be another little UFO ghost story show, and we'll have some fun. All right, everyone. Take care. Much love. God bless.